What super embarrassing thing did someone else do that you'll never forget? All the kids in my 5th grade class were passing out Valentine's cards during our party. When I finished, I went back to my desk and found a huge Hallmark-style envelope on my desk, too big to fit in the box I had decorated. Confused, I opened it and found a real Valentine's card, with a declaration of love from a classmate named Vinny. My teacher saw me reading it, grabbed it and cheekily read it out loud to the class. I was mortified. I didn't think for a moment she would be cruel enough, but then she said who it was from and my heart sank. Vinny hid his head in his arms at his desk, began to cry and shake, then ran off to the bathroom. I have never seen a more embarrassing moment, and I hated my teacher for the rest of the year. I still do, in fact. I'm so sorry, Vinny. I work near a college campus. The day Pokemon Go came out, all hell broke loose. Saw a guy who was playing the app walk directly into a pole that was just a bit taller than his junk because he wasn't looking up from his phone. Nuts were smashed. I camped out near that pole every day at lunch to watch people playing Pokemon wander into it. Day 3, here comes the guy from day 1, right into the same pole. Nuts smashed again. A girl in my design class got up to give her presentation. Her computer is hooked to the projector and it's on. She opens her email to find the presentation she sent herself, and as soon as the email is opened, someone in class says, "Name, why do you have an email titled Turtle Sex Noises?" Her head whips around to the screen and she shouts, "Oh my God," and then she jumps in front of the screen as she forgets how projectors work. So, Turtle Sex Noises is now projected on her boobs, and she stammers to quickly tell us that her boyfriend sent her the link, the video is adorable, and so on. She goes on to do the presentation, but the class won't shut up about the turtle, so she plays the video and hides her face as this turtle makes adorable squeaky sounds as it makes love to a shoe, and the class just loses it. In the Navy, you have to run a physical readiness test every 6 months. If you fail any portion, you get a physical readiness test failure on your record. If you get 3 in a row, you get kicked out of the Navy. I tell you that to tell you this. I knew a guy in my command who was looking at getting kicked out for physical readiness test failure. He absolutely had to pass his physical readiness test or he would lose his job, livelihood, and realistically his wife and kids. Part of the physical readiness test is a 1.5 mile run he had to do in under 11 minutes. Everyone runs together and we all start at the same time. So they say go, everyone starts running, clock starts. About 5 minutes in, I look over and this guy is speed walking, awkward as hell. It was very obvious and very distracting. I am coming up behind him, I lapped him on the track, and he relaxes and shits himself. No joke, fills his Navy issue PT shorts and keeps running. He is running with a full load in his pants swinging behind him and running down his leg, leaving a shit trail on the track behind him. Note, this is official, he cannot fail. If he quits, it counts as a fail, so he grits his teeth and keeps running. I can't help but laugh as I'm running my physical readiness test. He looks miserable, but he is still running as fast as he can with shit just pouring out of his shorts. I was embarrassed just watching this happen, but his very existence on Earth was to be determined by this run, and nothing short or the apocalypse was going to stop him from finishing. He ended up coming in 10 seconds under his time, so he got to stay in, but the fact that half the command had watched this guy shit his pants then run spewing shit behind him for 6 minutes was brutal. People talked for years about that incident. Freshman year of college, 5 weeks in, I had a group project. My group decided to write a script and read it to the class. All 4 of us are up there reading and semi-acting out this 10-page script, and everyone in class starts kind of giggling. In between lines, I make eye contact with this girl I was kinda seeing, and she kept laughing towards me. I thought maybe a booger was hanging from my nose, zipper was undone, but nope. Ended up that the kid next to me had a boner and did the little tuck-in waistband trick. The head of his dick was sticking out and he was wearing a small shirt, so anytime he lifted his arms or moved around everyone saw the tip of his dick. Everyone joked about it when he wouldn't show up to class. I was in 11th grade and my buddy was in 9th. I brought him to a party with me. He got obnoxiously drunk on vodka. There were these two 12th grade girls that I really wanted to talk up. He came with me. We are standing in front of them and they were sitting in chairs, so they were eye level with our crotches. Our game is surprisingly working and he is holding it together, or so I thought. One of the girls exclaims, "Oh my God, he is pissing." I look over and he is peeing his pants as we chat up these senior girls that are eye level with our junk. I was at a stoplight downtown, and a group of one of those Segway tours was crossing in front of me. A guy near the end of the line of Segwayers tries to spin around and chat with someone behind him, or something, and just goes down like a sack of bricks. Now I don't know how those things work, but I still assume it was a mechanical failure or some shit, because this guy is now flat on his ass in the middle of downtown Seattle, just wrestling with this Segway. He's all tangled up in it and cursing, flopping around, and everyone's just standing there, completely clueless on how to even begin to unlatch this red-faced dude from his Segway. It goes on like this for almost a full minute. The light is green but I can't go because he's right in front of me. Finally he gets up and hops back on, and rides away. I nearly had to pull over, I was laughing so hard on my way home. Posted this once in another thread. A kid in my school was put in a group project for a productions class. He was very weird, odd, awkward. Anyhow, long story short, he took a camera home to review footage. The next day it was time to review the project in front of the class. Evidently, he had filmed himself masturbating, but hadn't quite erased all the film by taping over it. Apparently, the class caught just a couple frames of him jerking off right at the end of the film. The class was in hour 7, so he immediately ran out of class and onto the bus. Before the bus could leave, he was approached by a group of administrative staff. He ended up having a panic attack on the bus, kicking, screaming, flailing. Anyhow, he works at a gas station now. Good luck to you, Andrew. Long time ago my friend, around his early 20s at the time, was dating his sister's best friend. She ended up breaking up with him. A few of my friends brought him over to my parents' place to cheer him up. My friend, who isn't very emotional at all, got wasted. Proceeded to cry and bawl and chug hard liquor. He then threw up in every room of my house while my family watched and thought he was dying. To this day they still bring it up to me asking if he is okay. It was 10+ years ago.